And welcome to A State of Mind. State of Mind is the QCC show right here on Unity Radio, Unity 979. I'm Ernie Floyd. And it also allows us the opportunity to go inside Quinsigamond Community College. Quinsigamond Community College is right here in Central Massachusetts. They're located on West Boylston Street. You can catch them on Federal Street, downtown Worcester, as well as a campus in Southbridge, Massachusetts. And joining us now here on State of Mind is we have two individuals that work at Quinsigamond Community College, and they're going to provide us some insight in reference to what Quinsigamond is all about. I'm getting tongue twisted here. I'm getting excited here because of the show, because of the information you're going to give me here. Joining us now is Paige Turcotte, and we also have Jean. Jean is joining us, and Jean Kennedy. There you go. All right. And so welcome to State of Mind.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So now let me get your background. Okay, Jean. Jean, you're a professor of human services and the coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. And also Paige Turcotte, you are a QCC alum. You just graduated recently, last month, as we speak, as a student of Commonwealth Honors Scholar by Theta Kappa, Honor Society member. You're the president of the Psychology Club. You're the winner of the 2026 Outstanding Student Leader Award, tutor for math and psychology, presenter at the Eastern Psychological Association, which is the EPA conference, a major annual academic psychology conference. Did I miss anything?
Oh gosh, I could not tell you. Yeah, I've done a lot. So
you do coffee and you take the trash out and you wash the dishes. Okay.
Yep. I think you missed that she's an ambassador. She was an ambassador to the Commonwealth Honors Scholar Program.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So let's get down to business, okay?
Sure.
Let's have some fun here. All right, Jean. So what is the Commonwealth Honors Program? We'll start with that first.
Sure. The Commonwealth Honors Program at QCC, we are part of a statewide system, meaning that across Massachusetts, all of the community colleges and the state universities, including UMass, Boston, Mass, Amherst, Dartmouth, Amherst, that we are all a part of this great system. The Commonwealth Council, which I'm a part of as being the coordinator. And so students at Quinsig, they take 4 honors scholar designated courses. And I'll tell you in a moment what that means. And Paige can give us some insight in that, having experienced it from the student's perspective. And once they do that and they graduate with a 3.3 GPA, they become a Commonwealth of Massachusetts Honors Scholar. It's a nice title. It goes on their transcript. And if they're transferring to Worcester State or Fitchburg State or UMass Amherst or UMass Dartmouth, any of the state schools, they would be automatically accepted into their honors college. So it's a nice sort of bridge for students who are doing the state system. If they are going off to a private institution, having Commonwealth of Massachusetts Honors Scholar on their transcript only helps their application. Because we've had students go to Cornell, we've had students go to Smith, so they've gone to Northeastern, so there's students that go to other institutions as well.
Thank you for the information. It seems as though that Quinsigamond could be a great start, Quinsigamond Community College right here in Central Massachusetts. It doesn't mean that you have to stay here. Plus, you can't stay here as long anyway, because it's a 2-year college as well. So you can get your associate's degree and other degrees and participate in a lot of their clubs and their programs as well. So Paige, why did you join the Commonwealth Honors?
yeah, so when I started at Quinsig, I didn't consider myself like an academic scholar or anyone worthy of being part of an honors program. But after talking with a professor who recommended me for the program, I realized that I did want a more intimate kind of education. I wanted to be exposed to new ideas. I wanted to talk with people. I wanted to talk with people who had a lot to say. And my professor, Lisa Palmer, was like, that is exactly what this program would provide you. If you want to talk to Jean and see if you can take a class next semester in it. Yeah, but I found it amazingly rewarding, especially the seminar format of class where it's more of a discussion rather than just like a lecture. I took cognition, world history, and our interdisciplinary studies class through the honors program. And yeah, it's been a wonderful experience and I'm so happy I did so.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Jean, back to you. When it comes to the honors program, we'll say a student is in high school and they weren't really, we'll say they don't see themselves as an honor per se, comparison to other students. But you're saying that once they graduate from that school and they attend Quinsigamond Community College, there's a possibility that they can be in the honors program and they can excel in it and do very well.
Thank you for bringing that question up, because that is so true. I was thinking about this morning as I was thinking about coming here this afternoon and thinking how many students we have who the last time they took a course was 25 years ago. But even students who come in from a recent high school graduation and maybe they had a 3.0 or a 3.2, which is a little bit lower than what our expectations. After they're here at Quinsig for one semester and they take 2 courses, say, and they get an A in both courses, their GPA is going to be a high GPA. And once they get that GPA, it has to be a 3.5 GPA or above to become into our program at this moment. That might be changing in the future. They go, I didn't think I was that smart. I didn't think that I had this in me. We have a lot of students that come in that particular avenue into the honors program. So yeah, there's students, especially, I love the ones that come in and say, I haven't taken a college course. I haven't taken a course in 20 years. And I don't know if I can do this. And then they do it. And then they're an honors student. And then they do that. And it's like, wow, doors open up, you know?
Yeah. It seems that there's a situation whereas someone just wants to excel.
Yes.
They just want to do well. And then all of a sudden you come along, Gene, and tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, by the way, you qualified for this. And this is where it's at. And that's where Paige comes in. So Paige, you're going to tell us about what's your experience like being in the program?
Yeah. So as I said earlier, I really enjoyed the seminar-based classes. Although I feel like they weren't as like necessarily structured as a lot of the classes that I did outside of the honors program. I found that it was often a lot more work just because I wanted to learn more and I wanted to do more. Like I think of my cognition class and we would read an article and read the textbook. And I would spend like 5 hours every week just reading and taking notes and writing my little reflection papers for my class. It was purely based on my own ambition. And if you come in wanting to learn and wanting to do things, you will do well in these classes. I could say that for all of my classes. The one thing that I did that was a little different than a lot of my peers in the honors program is I did an honors contract. Which basically means that I worked one-on-one with a professor in a class that wasn't a designated honors class to do an independent project. And I worked with a professor of psychology, Eric Mania, on a independent research project that I later presented at a conference, which was super fun. But yeah, no, I found it a lot of fun. I met a lot of really good friends through it. I actually just hung out with one of them the other day. It has been truly a wonderful, life-changing experience, and I appreciate all the professors who have guided me through that and all the connections I've had.
Well, it seems as though Paige is having way too much fun at QCC. It's too much fun over there. Are you really doing any work over there? I'm just kidding.
A lot of work.
Paige Turcotte is joining us. She's a QCC alum, graduated recently last month as a student in Commonwealth Honors Scholar Program, and also Gene Kennedy is joining us too as a professor of human services and the coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. So we're talking about this honors program, and it seems as though a lot of good things are happening over there when it gets involved in the honors program. But when you talk about the honors program, there's a whole scale of activities and events that take place at Quinsigamond Community College. What qualifies for our honors program? Not every course qualifies for our honors program, or every course does qualify for our honors program.
So we have specific designated honors courses that are taught by faculty who have sort of this mindset about for honors, as Paige was referring to. Typically, the courses require a little bit more research, a lot more critical thinking skills. That's one of the things, and Paige, perhaps you can speak to this as well, is that's one of the things that we really look for, is to help students really look at information literacy, the things that they're reading, particularly online, because we need to have those critical thinking skills. We need to discern how we move into the future and how we move in with relationships to others, etc. So really, it's about increasing students' capacity for research as well as critical thinking skills. Also, just the idea, I think you've found that a lot of the courses are more seminar-like. We have a particular honors center on campus, and all of the courses currently are taught there. And it's kind of like sitting around a table, and students have assignments, and then there's a lot of interaction, and there's a lot of interaction with the faculty. And what happens a lot of times, students will ask me when they're thinking about joining the club, the program rather, is it harder? That's the question I get. How hard is it? Am I going to have to work that much harder? And really, several students have said, Jean, not that much harder. It's just different. I don't know what these faculty do to my brain. One student said to me, I don't know, he did something and I'm thinking so differently right now. And I love it.
There you go.
So it's a way of really helping the brain matter connect in a different way. I think that's what the honors program does. In addition to what Paige talked about, doing an honors contract. Once in a blue moon, a student can't get the 4 courses that we are offering, so that we'll take a course from their program and work with the faculty to do a specialized individual project that serves as the honors. And they have to, oftentimes they're Paige presented at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. We have a undergraduate research conference that happens every April. And this year we brought 20 students that presented. We had about 26 people that went from Quinsig and spent the day at UMass Amherst presenting their research.
Well, thank you for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back. We'll continue this conversation. We have Jean Kennedy. She's Professor of Human Services and Coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. That's what we're talking about. And also we have Paige Turcotte. She's a recent graduate. She's a QCC alum. It's official. She's graduated and she's feeling nice and proud here. And we're going to continue our discussion when we come back. I'm Ernie Floyd, and you listen to A State of Mind on Unity Radio, Unity 979, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hey, this is Ricky Duran, and you're listening to Unity Radio on 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
This is Luis Pedraja, President of Quinsigamond Community College. Thanks for listening to State of Mind on Unity Radio 97.9. They keep our community connected, just like we do through education. Whether you're 18 or 80, it is never too early or too late to invest in yourself.
Boston and Worcester, get ready for one of the biggest Ghana U.S. business and cultural experiences during the FIFA World Cup season. Join us for the Ghana Worcester Boston Trade and Investment Exchange 2026, happening June 24th and 25th, bringing together government officials, investors, businesses, entrepreneurs, diaspora organizations, and community leaders from Ghana and the United States. Day 1, June 24th at Hyatt Regency Boston. The Ghana Boston Trade and Investment Summit will feature powerful B2B and B2G networking sessions. Special guests include Ghana's ambassador to the United States. Day 2, June 25th, Worcester Common. The energy moves to Worcester for the Ghana Worcester Trade Fair, a free public event filled with food vendors, products, shopping, culture, entertainment, networking, and community engagement. This is where business, culture, diaspora, and opportunity come together. Learn more at heritagetriage.com/events.
You're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
And once again, welcome back to A State of Mind. I'm Ernie Floyd. State of Mind programs right here, produced by Unity Radio, Unity 979. And our guest is Jean Kennedy. She's a professor of human services and the coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program at QCC, as well as Paige Turcotte, QCC alum, and also as a student of the Commonwealth Honors Scholars. And that's what we're talking about, is the superfluous, the incredible honors program that people will not think of when they say honors and QCC at the same time. No disrespect, but they'll think of honors because we're conditioned for all these other prestigious universities and these other colleges and institutions. But when it comes to QCC, you have something just as good, if not better, than the other universities. Is that correct?
Oh, I definitely believe so. Yes.
There you go. Let's cheer it on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, having an opportunity for all of our students, if they want to give it a go, as Paige described, that, intellectual curiosity is on a very broad, diverse scale. And so coming into the honors program, it challenges students at some level. A colleague says all the time that the Commonwealth Honors Program at QCC is one of the best kept secrets. But we also have the variety of honors societies at QCC. And I know a couple of weeks ago, I think you had a program on them as well. But the Commonwealth Honors Program is very specific, and it really does have an opportunity for students, particularly students who know they want to go get their 4-year or master's or even a doctorate, which we have a lot of students. I've had about 5 students the last 2 years who want to become a doctor, an MD, and want to go the route. So we're helping them to get that baseline, that foundation at QCC, and then to move forward.
It seems as though the mindset has changed a little bit, whereas usually when you go to high school, in some instances, some people don't want to pursue going further into college or further education. And due to the circumstances, it's expensive, family situation, and they just say, I got to go to the world of work. And they just want to get in and just get out. But then you're saying, surprisingly, there might be some good things at QCC that might pique someone's interest, and they might stay and realize that, oh, I didn't realize I can do all these different things. And that's where you come in. And that's what Paige has demonstrated as well. And Paige, what high school did you go to, by the way?
Yeah, so I went to Grafton High in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you find someone who can come from Grafton, someone can come from North High School, and it was the public schools or any schools around the region, they can come there. And now they're on the fast track in the sense to say, okay, I want to go to Quinsig. One instance, it's affordable.
Right.
2,
free.
And that's can't get any better than that.
Right.
And at the same time, I think people are surprising in reference to how the faculty is really engaged with the students that are there, and they're not there just to teach and push the kids out the college as well.
Right. I totally agree with you. I have wonderful colleagues at Quinsigamond Community College, and I really feel the majority of us are incredibly dedicated to getting students to where they want to go. And I love your comment about not everybody wants to go to college. And, my husband's a retired professor, and I teach in Quinsigamond Community College. And we often talk about college isn't for everyone, but Quinsig offers so much it's extraordinarily diverse. And so I think it's a great opportunity for someone to come in and take some classes and find out, oh, wow, I have something I didn't know I had. And I think that's the beauty of Quinsigamond Community College. And as you had mentioned, the faculty, they're really great faculty.
Mm-hmm. And going back to what I just said too, as well, was when it comes to critical thinking, in research, some of us are lazy, and it's like, just give me the stuff. I don't want to do any more than I have to. Get in and get out. But Paige loves that critical thinking and that research. And why is that, Paige?
Yeah, I mean, actually, initially, I didn't come to QCC for that. I was a nursing major. I didn't think that I could critically think, if I'm going to be honest. I didn't think that I could participate in the intellectual arts. But I feel like I love questioning the world and why it is, and all these different avenues, because we see it and it feels so straightforward, but it really isn't. And there are so many places you can take it and so many different perspectives you can look at the world from. And just kind of discovering that and like discovering these weird little secrets of life, I find that so fun and cool. And I wish more people did, because I like talking about it. So
you walked into Quinsigamond Community College with one perspective about life. Okay, you come from Grafton High School, right? So that's a perspective in itself in that community. And you come to Quinsig, it's going to open up you a little bit more, because Quinsig is going to be a little bit more diverse. People from all different backgrounds, ethnicity, income, economy, the whole different thing. So now you take this course and you start to see all the people around you in your environment. You're in a whole total new environment, right? And this is going to expand your critical thinking and your research going forward. And how are you going to use that when you do that?
What do you mean?
Well, when you go forward in reference to your research and your critical thinking, how are you going to use that when you graduate from Quinsigamond Community College?
Yeah, so I'm going to Tufts after this, which is a research-focused school in Boston. And I'm going to bring a lot of like the self-motivation and just like my passion for my subject to my future endeavors, but also the mindset that like I was a non-traditional student. I had lived away from home for a few years. I'd been working. I did not go to school straight out of high school, like a lot of people, like my siblings. So I think just going into a four-year institution with that background of being someone who wasn't necessarily the typical demographic and has a lot of life experience dealing with people who are working a minimum wage job and trying to feed their kids, and also taking college classes. And yeah, I feel like that's just something that a lot of the young people in four-year institution don't necessarily have.
Jean, why is the research aspect of this program important?
Well, it's a great skill to have, whether you're just looking at the internet. I mean, I think everybody really does have to have a capacity to go a little deeper because of the world we live in. What is truth, right? And so being able to discern using those critical thinking skills is really important. And I know that the program really holds that. It's kind of a sacred space in our honors program of really looking at things logically, discerning, and with critical, as well as, again, a lot of this is for preparing students to merge or to transfer into the 4 years and beyond, so that probably 3-4 years ago, I met with a student who's at UMass. She's since graduated at UMass Amherst in psychology, and we had coffee, and she said, I was so prepared to become a junior at UMass Amherst. She said, I just waltzed in and I felt like I could do the research that all my peers were doing. And I really excelled. And I think our program afforded her that and gave her that opportunity.
Yeah, when it comes to that critical thinking and that research, I think maybe in the past that whatever was told to us from our parents or from the political side of things and just society overall, we believe whatever was said on the surface. But now the research and critical thinking, people are starting to look at things a little bit differently now because of the technology, because of society, and now the fact that, wait a second, what you said to me before may not quite be what it really is now, because now that I know a little bit more, because now people are maturing faster due to certain situations. So when we come back, we're going to continue this discussion, okay? And we're going to
Can I just comment again about just so people are aware of with our research, we have a really fantastic program with the librarians at our school. So the students who take the IDS 200, which is our honors colloquium, they have to write a 15-page research paper. Basically, it's a review of literature, but they work with the librarians, and they are fabulous. Again, to teach those critical skills on how information literacy, making sure that this is peer reviewed and that they understand what the material that they're reading and how that impacts the paper that they're writing, and that they're going to be presenting. We have what's called a showcase every semester. The students present their research to the QCC community, and anyone's invited to participate in that.
And that's a good point that you just said, because of the fact that people are not taking things on the surface of the information anymore, because they're starting to realize that whatever you said before and you shared with me, later on they're starting to discover that it's not true in a lot of different instances, and they're starting to discover themselves and realizing that things are seen a little bit differently in life than it was in the past. So when we come back, I appreciate that. Jean Kennedy, Professor of Human Services and the coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. And we also have Paige Turcotte. She's the QCC alum and also a student as a Commonwealth Honors Scholar, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society member, president of the Psychology Club, and the winner of the 2026 Outstanding Student Leader Award tutor for math. And we're going to come back with a continuous discussion about research, we're going to continue discussion about honors program and more, coming to you with Quinsigamond Community College. I'm Ernie Floyd, you listen to A State of Mind on Unity 979, Worcester's Community Connection.
Unity Radio. Worcester, we've got you.
Everybody's right here. First up is Summer Walker, and this is Chris Warner. My name's still Chief with 2 eyes. It was popping, it's Kendrick Lamar, letting y'all know.
What's good? It's Metro Boomin.
What's up? It's Summer Walker.
Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Leon Thomas.
Log into Club Unity every Friday and Saturday, 10 to 1 on Unity Radio, 97.9 FM. Let's go.
We got this summertime feel.
Support for Unity Radio 97.9 FM is provided by United Way of Central Mass, aiming to improve the community and break the cycle of poverty, and the Woosocks Foundation, seeking to make dreams come true for families in areas of education, social justice, recreation, and conquering cancer. Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Let's talk, Worcester.
Unity 97.9.
And once again, welcome back to the Unity in the Community. I was going to say Unity in the Community Show. No, it's not. It's a State of Mind. State of Mind is a QCC show right here on Unity Radio, Unity 979. And we beefed up the host right here, and we beefed up our guests. And we have Opeyemi Odewale. He's joining us. He's a professor of biology and instructing Commonwealth Honors courses. We also have Jean Kennedy, who was originally with us, professor of human services and coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. And of course, Jane. Paige is Paige Turcotte. She's a QCC alum, as well as a student of the Commonwealth Honors Scholar Program by Theta Kappa, and the list goes on with Paige. Paige is known as an all-star at QCC, right?
She is.
And here are the show as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the honors program at QCC. So when someone says honors in QCC, and people start to look at you cross-eyed like, what are you talking about? Honors in QCC. So you just joined us. They call you Yemi.
Correct.
They call you Yemi. So Yemi, what role do you play at QCC? Let's get you involved in this conversation.
I'm 2 roles. So one being an instructor in the honors program. And also, I'm working with Professor Kennedy as the honors faculty fellow. So it's essentially I assist her in any day-to-day operation of the honors program.
All right. So Gene, when it comes to the honors program, right? Do you just go out and snatch people and say, hey, you could be in the honors program, you could be in the honors program? Or is it basically looking at their transcript and that qualifies them to see if they qualify to be in the honors program?
Right. Perfect. I like that idea though. But what happens is, in fact, we're doing it right now. Usually we have what we call a recruitment in the summer. So the high school students coming in from all the different high schools, we get a list from the registrar's office and we send them out an invitation saying, hey, you did pretty good in high school. Would you be interested in joining our honors program? And then they say, sure. And I set up a Zoom typically it's a Zoom meeting over the summer or a phone call. Sometimes we'll come in and have an in-person if the student would like. And then I'll go over the program and talk about, I look at their degree audit and see which 4 courses I can get them in. And if they have a pathway to scholar, I'm like, let's do it. And I also say, take one. And if you don't like it, you don't have to take another one, but I think you'll like it and you'll continue to pursue it. And then students who are currently at QCC and they hadn't thought about taking the Commonwealth Honors Program, we also send them out a letter when they take, let's say they've taken 3 or 4 courses at QCC their first semester and they have a 3.8 GPA. Well, that's an indication that they have been studying and they have this curiosity about whatever their topic is. And we send them out a letter and saying, hey, are you interested in getting this on your transcript? And especially if you're transferring, but if not, just again, developing that. I wanted to say also, a lot of people think about intellectual curiosity as sort of elitism, and it really isn't. It's about helping each person, no matter what their goals are, to become, as one person said in our video we made a couple years ago, to be the best version of myself. And that's what I think the Commonwealth Honors Program does for students, is to really help them to explore their full self.
Yeah, there's a number of different departments at QCC. Yemi, you could have been in any one of them. Why did you choose the honors program?
So the honor program itself, it's not a department. So I'm specifically in the natural science department. So it's my biology. So the honor program, it's a subset of different access that we have at the college. Whereas within the honors program, we have different faculty within different departments working within the honors programs. So teaching different perspective of courses. For example, I bring in the biology lens, and I also work with, I co-teach my course with another faculty who comes in with the literature lens. So my course in the honors program, which we call IDS, is co-taught by 2 different professors with different lenses.
Let's talk about some of the aspects here to emphasize. Independent research projects, you have presentations, you have honors contracts, you have strong focus on writing, analysis, and intellectual curiosity. Why can't the kids or the students just participate at QCC, just go through the program or get their studies, pursue whatever career they're going to pursue, and just get out? Why is it important for the honors program to say, hey, we want to recognize you for this and recognize your intellect and recognize your research and all these different aspects that you bring to the college, if not just to college, but to themselves?
I think that, like I said earlier, it's an opportunity for some students who just didn't think they had the capacity. And the truth is they really do. We have so much diversity at QCC and intellectual diversity at QCC. And I think it's a door that opens up for them. And there are some students that maybe, like I said, take one course and then decide they don't want to pursue it. That's okay. But having that opportunity, and a lot of students do pursue it and get the pathway to scholar on their transcripts, and it does help them with their transfer. So again, it's really a choice. I tell students all the time, you can join this program because it's a choice. It's not a requirement. And it's just something for you a different avenue, a different path to explore.
Yeah, I want to go back to Paige. Paige, you're an alum now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to say I have a degree.
And you were somewhere in the mindset prior to QCC at Grafton High School. You're going through, it seems as though I could just read you. He's going through some personal changes. And that's understandable. But now that you've gone through those personal changes and you attended Quinsigamond Community College, and now that you realize that you're a scholar, that you're an honor, you probably wasn't feeling that way back when you was in high school or whatever you was going through at that particular time. What can you say for those that are going through, we all going through something with our families and something personally. What can you say to those that are experiencing some challenges and may feel just a little bit like they need some help? What's some pickup or some inspiration that you can provide us?
So I dropped out of college initially. I went to UMass Boston for like 2 weeks, and then I dropped out. And I thought I would never be able to go back, and I would never be able to do anything worthwhile intellectually at that point in my life. I think the biggest thing, though, that I've learned over the years is that it's a temporary state and you can do with it what you will. A although you don't have control over everything, you do have control of your actions. And with your actions, you can change things. Maybe not a lot, but at least a little bit. And that's what I've done with my life. I've realized that the only person who can really help me is myself. And you shouldn't, like, although you should have supports and you should find friends and family who will support your endeavors, it's ultimately what you do and how you think of yourself at the end of the day that matters the most. So yeah, that's been a big help in change of mindset for me through my journey.
I don't want to take that for granted because of the fact that we, as I said earlier, a lot of us go through whatever we're going through, and some of our siblings are going through, and some of them just can't get out of their own way for whatever reason. And we could just set something right there in front of them, clear as day. They just don't see it and they just don't feel it. And so I want to honor Paige, and recognize her the fact that, give her kudos, the fact that she was able to recognize the fact that she deserves better. She knows that she can become better, and she has become a success.
And to that point, I think one of the other things that I believe that the program does offer, one of the things is it's smaller class sizes. Usually they are capped at 15 versus 20 or 25 or 30 in some of the classes. And because we sit around a table and it's this relationship between the faculty and the students to the students. And I think there's a phenomenal amount of support that happens. And one student did say, and several students have said, it's not hard, I'm thinking different, but I really like the folks that I'm working with. Like, it just really is an environment that we create to help them, again, become the best that they can be.
Joining us once again is Opeyemi Odewale, and you're joining us on the team. Prior to joining Quinsig, give us a little bit of your background.
Oh, professionally, my background begins as an adjunct faculty over in Rhode Island, teaching biology, and I went to a master's at Community College before joining QCC. So I've been at QCC almost 9+ years now. I'm teaching a wide range of biology classes, and in the last 3 years, I've been involved in an honors program. And I do have to say, in regards to what Professor Kennedy mentioned, even yourself and also Paige, the honors program, I have to say, not to make it sound elitist, but our hope is, for example, this semester, we have over 1,000 students with 3.5 GPA and above. What we hope to do is, these students are doing very well. How can we harness their gift a little further within a small, fine subset of classes? So in the sense that we know you're doing well in your classes, let's up the ante in terms of the rigor of how we're going to critically analyze information. In a nutshell, we're trying to prepare them for those of you that want to go to grad school. Here's how you write a dissertation, and here's a rigor of going through the dissertation. At least that's how I see, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing some really big things over there at Quinsigamond Community College, whereas people think that they're coming out of high school and they want to pursue college, and some of them can afford it, and some of them can't afford it, but they say, some are just not undecided. And they say, I'll go to college, I'll take some courses, and I'll find out where it leads me. But with going to Quinsig, with all these exciting things that's taking place over there, you might get caught up into something where you might not, you might excel in something that you didn't think you was going to excel in. And I think that sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah. Additionally to that, Ernie, is that one of the things that happens when they come on to the honors program is that myself and now Yemi will be there, one of their advisors. So I'm always telling students, give me a shout if something comes up. I've been fortunately, actually, I probably too long at the college, but I've been there for a very long time. So I love troubleshooting when students have an issue with the college or trying to find information. Give me a call, give me a shout, and I'm going to be supportive. And I think that's another thing, is that we just have this relationship with our students, not just with the honors program, but across the board. It's a good place.
I'm interested in finding out in the next break when we come back. Those students that question themselves, those students that doubt themselves, and they come in front of you all the time. And you're standing there and you're saying, I see something in you more than you see something in yourself. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of your strategies and helping them to recognize that they can become something, okay? So we have Gene Kennedy, the Professor of Human Services and the Coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. We have, Opeyemi Odewale, and he is the QCC alum. No, I'm sorry, Professor of Biology and instructing Commonwealth Honors courses. Paige Turcotte is a QCC alum and she recently graduated as a student at Commonwealth, and she's an honor scholar. So when we come back, we're talking about Quinsigamond Community College right here on Unity Radio, Unity 979. My name is Ernie Floyd, Worcester's Community Connection.
Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my line. What's up, Worcester? I'm Angelo Gray, and you're listening to Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection. When I dial my baby's number, I get a click every time.
Hi, this is Luis Pedra, president of Quinsigamond Community College, and you're listening to State of Mind on Unity Radio 97.9. Whether you're starting your career or changing direction, QCC is here to help you succeed.
Boston and Worcester, get ready for one of the biggest Ghana U.S. business and cultural experiences during the FIFA World Cup season. Join us for the Ghana Worcester Boston Trade and Investment Exchange 2026 happening June 24th and 25th, bringing together government officials, investors, businesses, entrepreneurs, diaspora organizations, and community leaders from Ghana and the United States. Day 1, June 24th at Hyatt Regency Boston. The Ghana Boston Trade and Investment Summit will feature powerful B2B and B2G networking sessions. Special guests include Ghana's ambassador to the United States. Day 2, June 25th, Worcester Common. The energy moves to Worcester for the Ghana Worcester Trade Fair, a free public event filled with food vendors, products, shopping, culture, entertainment, networking, and community engagement. This is where business, culture, diaspora, and opportunity come together. Learn more at heritagetriage.com/events.
You're listening to Unity 97.9 FM, WUTY. Let's talk, Worcester.
And once again, welcome back to the State of Mind. It's the QCC show right here on Unity Radio, Unity 979, Worcester's Community Connection. Once again, Gene Kennedy, Professor of Human Services and the coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program at QCC. And we also have Opeyemi, Odewale, and he is the Professor of Biology and instructing Commonwealth Honors courses as well. And Paige Turcotte, as I mentioned earlier, QCC alum. She feels good about that, and Commonwealth Honors Scholar as well. And so when it comes to scholars, when it comes to the program, and it comes to the research part of the being participating in the honors program. So now you present something to a student. Okay, now you got to do a research project. And so is it blanket out there that you do a research? Because then what happens is you're going to have someone say, I don't know what I want to do a research project on. You have to help me do a research project. And I don't know what my interest is on that. But you're saying that you have a way to curl that in and curve in it and to make sure that they're able to select something.
Right.
Okay.
All students who want to become a Commonwealth of Massachusetts Honors Scholar must take the IDS 200 Honors Colloquium, which is an interdisciplinary course, right? And currently we have about four topics. Some of them are starting to retire. I actually just taught, Paige was my student this past semester, in the spring semester. And ours was, the title of our seminar was 2050, The World in 2050, A Certain Uncertainty. I know that Yemi teaches. Do you want to say the title of your course?
So my courses are Microbes and Society. Microbes and Society.
Yeah, and we have currently in the fall, we have one called Histories of American Violence. Very interesting course. And we have a new course coming on, Truth or Consequences, Movement for Change. I don't have the description of that. What happens is that faculty, I put out a call to faculty to come up with, if they're interested in, and it's a team taught. So there are two faculty that teach the students and do the research along with the library staff for this particular course.
Okay, Yemi, we have someone at Quinsigamond Community College, and they're walking around, and they're just walking around aimlessly, just trying to discover different things. And you find out that that person is interested and becoming a scholar, but they just don't know how to go about it. So how do you approach that person, and how do you encourage them to participate in the honors program?
I actually wish Paige was answering this question, because Paige, she's one of the students ambassador. And one of the awesome things that Paige and her cohort did is they create bookmarks. So they create bookmarks to give students all the detail that pertains to how you become a honor student at QCC. Whereas us faculty, just word of mouth, and not just having an intimate relationship with our students, knowing where their degree order is, knowing where their GPA is. So just the word of mouth, okay, between faculty and also between faculty and students as well. So that will usually be the approach we use to onboard them. One of the approaches that we try to use this upcoming semester is through text. Okay, we know your GPA. Can we get in touch with you either through text, because we know email is somewhat limited as well. So we use different avenues to get in touch with our students to become to onboard them into the honors program.
So Paige, you're out there working now. Before, I don't know you anymore, because prior, when you was younger, prior to coming to Quinsigamond Community College, you didn't want to talk to anybody, did you? And now that you're at Quinsig, now you're an honor student, and you're outgoing, and you're encouraging others, and you really come out of yourself. You come out of your shell, huh?
So yeah, before Quinsig, I was I worked a lot in coffee, so I talked with a lot of people in a very particular way, but not in like any kind of depth. I guess more like, hi, hello, here's coffee. It was really that made me a lot more outgoing than I am now. Quinsig encouraged me to interact with people on a peer-to-peer level, especially being a math tutor. I worked in the classroom with students, and getting to know students, getting to know how to read students and see like how motivated they were to do a certain thing, knowing their limitations. I feel like that has changed how I see interacting with others, definitely. And through that, as Yemi mentioned, through the bookmark program we have, I was handing them out last semester, and I could just kind of see when talking to students, like whose eyes like kind of lit up at the idea of going into a class and having these intellectual discussions. You just kind of get a sense for the students who are really, really excited by these things. They'll show it, because when you hear it, it just sounds honestly too good to be true sometimes.
Well, Jean, you lead this effort when it comes to the honors program. When it comes to talking to those students and encouraging them, what's more powerful, hearing it from a professor or hearing it from a fellow student?
Hearing it from a fellow student, definitely. On our QCC website, we do have the Commonwealth Honors link, and we do have a video that we created about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's mainly interviews with students that were in the program that they've since graduated. And they do talk about their research, and they talk about the variety of things. So there is some information out there. The hard thing with most things today is that there's so much information. Sometimes things do get lost.
Yeah. Jean, you mentioned earlier you've been involved with QCC for a long time. And where has this program been in the past, where it is today, and where do you hope for it to go in the future?
Great question. So I believe we have had this program at Quinsig for at least 26 years. I've been the coordinator. This is the beginning of my 6th year. I've completed 5 years. And I think there's a couple of things happening, because we are sort of approved by the Massachusetts Board of Higher Education, and so they make various changes through the council that I'm on as well. And there are some changes coming down where instead of requiring students to have 4 courses, it might be that they only have to do 3 courses plus the seminar. So we're looking at that might be a change. I think in some ways, the program has grown a bit in the last 5 years, in the last 26 years. But I think mainly one of our things, like being here today and having this conversation with you, and hopefully people will be able to hear this, that we do have this, it's a wonderful program. And to grow the program, to open the door for more students to participate, rather than we're not here to exclude folks, but to really open the door. And sometimes what happens if a student comes in a little too late, they can't get the 4 courses in. So with the 3 courses, that probably allows for more flexibility. Plus, as you have mentioned, some students I need to get in and then get out, right? And that's what's happening in our world. I mean, higher education is changing rapidly in our culture. I mean, one of the things we did talk about was artificial intelligence in our class. I've been talking about it for 25 years in this particular class that I teach. And now it was all theoretical, and now it's here, and now it's changing us. So there's a fine balance, I believe, about getting students to really delve into their own capacity as well as moving them out quickly. So I think the college and all of us need to find that balance.
Well, Yemi, when it comes to you, you're a professor of biology and instructing Commonwealth honors courses there. What are you most proud of in your contribution to this honors program?
Oh, awesome question. So at the end of the semester, the students have a presentation for the entire college. And this presentation essentially highlights all the work they've been doing throughout the entire semester. So on one hand, the class may have to write a 15-page paper and do a post-up presentation where the entire college community it's invited. And just seeing the students next to their posters and just explaining the hard work that they put in, and just to see the expertise and their voice on their face, that makes me happy. Yeah.
I think I want to go back to college.
Come on. We'd love to have you.
What do you think, Rose? I think I got the college bug here. I want to be an honor too as well. But before we go, Jean, just share with us this honors Commonwealth program, how people can get involved in it.
Well, on our QCC website, there is a link to the Commonwealth Honors Program, and there's information there where they can contact me, and Yemi's going to be on there as well because this is a new position for him. And so that's one link. And again, just coming on when they deciding to come to the college is to hopefully they can look at the broad offerings that QCC has to offer, because there are so many things that students, I didn't know that. So we're trying to get the word out, and they will get an invitation from us for sure, from the Commonwealth Honors Program, from myself, and then I will meet with them.
Okay. So Paige, before we go, you're going to come back, right? Because of the fact that you did really well at the college. When you didn't think so when you first walking in, you went there, like I just said earlier. You want to get in and get out, right?
Yep.
And then also you discovered yourself. Wow, I'm smart. I didn't realize how smart I was. And I can really offer something not only at the college but also for the world. So when you head off to the next level or the next stage in your life, you're going to come back and see us here at the college and then bring back some of your wisdom?
No, I love QCC. I owe like everything to QCC. So of course I'll be back. This is kind of my home. So
thank you very much. Well, once again, Paige Turcotte, thank you very much. A recent QCC graduate and also as a student in the Commonwealth Honors Scholars Program. And we also have Opeyemi Odewale. He's a professor of biology and instructing Commonwealth Honors courses. And of course, Jean Kennedy, thank you very much for your insight. Professor of Human Services and the coordinator of the Commonwealth Honors Program. If you're interested in more information about QCC, of course, where do you go? All together, qcc.edu. And that's where you go. Thank you once again for listening to A State of Mind. I'm Ernie Floyd on Unity 979, Worcester's Community Connection.